Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Top Boogie. As you can see, your boy's on the road right now, so I'm not going to look at my phone because that's not safe. But listen, I want to tell y'all about my experience on Zoloft. I've been real hush-hush, real quiet about this, but I talked about it on TikTok, and it got a lot of attention. So I kind of want to give y'all just my experience on Zoloft. I don't know if I want to go too deep into why I started taking Zoloft. I'll give you some of my symptoms, and then we'll go into the Zoloft. So basically, I was dealing with, I was having like little facial spasms or whatever. I would feel very flushed in conversations. Like, I don't know if you guys ever experienced like an extremely awkward or embarrassing situation to the point where you feel flushed in the face and like your heart feels real spacious. I don't know, it's real weird. Like, it just feels like a flush throughout your body. Almost, and I know for my white people, like, you'll turn red. I mean, and even black people, like, I'll blush. So anyways, it's that feeling. I was experiencing that feeling in normal situations in life. Like, let's just say I'm in a conversation and somebody seems very engaged in a conversation. For some odd reason, I'll feel like a flushing feeling. Or if I get tongue-tied, I automatically feel super embarrassed. So I feel flushed, and now I can't really be engaged in the conversation. It was just happening in very weird moments. If somebody would look at me too long, I'll feel flushed. I'm at the cash register, I'll get that flush. So I didn't like it, y'all. It got to the point that I didn't really even like my experience of life. I'm a very much goofy person. If you go back into my older videos on this page, you'll see how goofy I am at the core. You know what I mean? Although those videos are kind of old, that's still me. You know, I'm a goofy guy. So I like to make people laugh. So I got to a point where it's like I couldn't find the happy version of me anymore. I couldn't find how to enjoy life just on some regular shit, like not even trying to do no extravagant, like whatever. Like, I would go on trips, and I would just, only time I would enjoy myself, if I'm being honest with y'all, is when I would drink. Now, I mean, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not somebody that drinks a lot, but when I do go out on the weekends with my friends, I would drink, and I would feel like myself again. Like, the goofiness would come out, I can have conversations with anybody, and I'm just like, so that's how I knew I still know what to say. I still know how to be funny. It's just there's something going on with me when I'm sober-minded. So of course, I didn't want to become an alcoholic. I have family members that were alcoholics, and, you know, like, bad things happen or whatever. So anyways, I don't want to go deep into that. I didn't want to become an alcoholic. So I was like, I have to do something. One day I was in a conversation with somebody, and I remember it was at work. And you know, at work, you got to do a lot of fake laughing and stuff like that. They were having a conversation with me. It was somebody that I don't usually talk to, but being that we haven't seen each other in a while, it was kind of like we felt the need to kind of acknowledge each other. But I didn't expect this person to try to actually have a conversation. Because again, like, I experience this weird stuff when I have conversations with people. So I don't really want to force myself in a conversation that already gives me anxiety, and then I get anxious about thinking about that feeling coming back to me. So I'm like, damn. So, like, I'm having an inner panic attack, but trying to act normal. So the person says a joke, and I laugh, and one side of my face stopped moving. Like, it literally, like, I was literally laughing like this. And then, like, I caught myself, and I kind of, like, laughed and, like, walked away or whatever before they could notice. So I brushed it off or whatever, because I'm used to this weird feeling in my body at this point. So later on, I'm on the phone with my little sister, and I kind of just told her about that experience, and I told her it as a joke, like, you know, like, so we could laugh about it, like, yo, my face just stopped. So she was like, I don't think you should take that so lightly. She had a lot of concern in her voice. She was like, I think that's something you actually want to get checked out on. I'll never forget this conversation. And she was like, how often does it happen? You know, I said, it's been happening for like a year, so, you know, I don't really trip. She was like, no, Tariq, you need to get that checked out on, because that sounds like a stroke. So I was like, stroke? Like, you know, I'm thinking I'm just experiencing something that nobody else is talking about, but everybody else is experiencing it too. So I go to the go to my primary care or whatever. They refer me to a psychiatrist. I told the psychiatrist, I mean, I don't know, like I get these weird feelings in my face. They told me, okay, well, you might want to do a brain scan. So they did a brain scan. My brain scan was good. So again, fast forward, I talked to my psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist told me, it seems like you may be experiencing anxiety and depression, severe anxiety and depression. He said severe because of I'm experiencing it physically. Like, it's really, and that's what was scaring me, because I'm like, damn, like, could I stress myself out to the point where I have a whole stroke and I experienced this silently and I never really told anybody because I'm experiencing social anxiety, so it's hard for me to tell people stuff. So I was like, okay. So he was like, all right, I want you to start taking this thing called Zoloft. So I was like, all right, cool. I never been somebody to take medicine besides like ibuprofen or something like that, or naproxen when I was deployed and stuff like that for like painkillers. So with this, I was like, this is gonna be a little different. I searched some videos, but I was very biased when I was searching for videos. I was looking for videos that would make me feel good about the decision of using Zoloft. I didn't want to watch videos that would give me the negative. So I watched some videos, it made me feel good enough. I went ahead and took the Zoloft, and immediately, I know a lot of people were saying like, yeah, it takes some time or whatever, and maybe it was the placebo effect, I don't know. But I felt like I ain't gonna say like the minute I took the pill, but probably like 2 hours in, I felt a weird euphoria. I couldn't stop laughing. And I was in a conversation with somebody I can never forget, because one of my coworkers came to my office and was talking to me, and I remember I was standing up and talking to her. One of the things that I get with my social anxiety is I have issues standing and talking to people. I have no idea why. I'm just being very honest with y'all. I would get the flush feeling, or I feel awkward or whatever when I stand up. But I remember I was standing up and I was talking to her, I was looking at her eyes, and I was laughing, and I was talking and making her laugh, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is working, because I'm genuinely cracking up. Later on that day, I get home and I'm on the phone with my girlfriend or whatever, and I was watching Bernie Mac. I laughed. So the laugh that I had towards that comedy show was a laugh that I have not experienced in a couple of years. Like, I mean, one of those, like, my stomach is tight kind of laugh. So now I'm happy about the Zoloft. I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I need. I'm starting to feel like me again. I'm excited. So maybe like day 4 or something like that. Wait, give me 1 second. I keep having these weird chest pains. But anyways, day 4 or whatever. Whew, maybe because I'm talking so fast. Day 4, I start feeling real like dehydrated. Like, I need water. Like, I have no saliva in my mouth. I just felt like my eyes felt dry. Everywhere there's supposed to be water, I just didn't feel any water in my body. So I'm like constantly drinking water. Like, in the middle of the night, I'm drinking water. I can't sleep. I'm drinking water. Because I'm just so dehydrated. I had no taste. I lick my lips and it'd be nothing. Like, I mean, it'd still be ashy. But anyway, so that was one of the first things I noticed. So probably like towards the end of that week, I noticed that I couldn't really enjoy anything. Like my laughter went away. When I'm in conversations, feelings were very much optional. So like, I was like, all right, cool. This is good, but when it's time for me to feel, it was like I don't feel nothing. So like, I noticed it kind of getting in the way of me and my girlfriend, because she lives in California, so we'll be on the phone and I'm just very dry. Like, I'm trying to find my way into feeling like talking, you know what I mean, or feeling like romantic to, you know, say lovey, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel no type of, this might be a TMI, but I didn't feel no type of like horniness or nothing like that. Like, he been sleeping all week. Like, I didn't feel any of that. So I was like, okay, what is going on? So I'm like, all right, let me keep taking the Zoloft. But it got to the point that I really, like, every time I would take it in the morning, I would just feel very much spaced out. Somebody would talk to me and I'll just feel spaced out. And I'm like, yeah, this is not good. I would really have to focus on the conversation that I'm having in order to like be engaged in the conversation. Because what Zoloft really did really well, it helped me from overthinking. But the way it helped me from overthinking was I can only think about one thing at a time. Like only one thing at a time, y'all. This light kind of look kind of good on you, boy. But yeah, so let's just say if I'm texting and driving. Not saying I text and drive, but I'm just saying, and you should not text and drive. If I'm texting and driving, and I'm looking at my phone and I'm trying to look up and do this, I am so deep in my phone instead of like, and I'll completely forget I'm driving. I'll give you another example. If I would be in a conversation with somebody, and let's just say we're talking about basketball, like, yeah, man, did you see what LeBron James did last night? And the person interjects while I'm talking. They say something like, hey, man, real quick, could you stop by to grab some bread or whatever on your way here? Because we ain't got no bread here at the party. I would be like, all right, yeah, I got you. Then they'll be like, yeah, but go ahead. What was you saying? I'll be like, what was I saying? I'll completely forget as if, like, it's not like I have a clue of what I was saying. I have no idea of what I was talking about. Like, it was almost like I can't go back to thoughts. Like, it was just weird, y'all. It was like I can't go back to no thought until the person reminds me. And then they'll be like, you was talking about LeBron James. Then I'll be like, what was I saying about him? And they're like, bro, you good? You was telling me how many points he scored. Then I'll be like, oh, okay. It's like I have to create a new thought to now have this conversation. That was something I really did not like, because I have to really be in tune in conversations. Like, I couldn't be on my phone and be in a conversation. I couldn't do none of that. Like, I had to do one thing at a time. If I was on Instagram, I was deeply on Instagram. If I was watching a movie, I was damn near in the movie. I was watching a podcast, and I remember feeling like I was sitting on the couch of the podcast. I felt that in tune with the video. That is cool, but there's a lot of downside when it comes to when you can't multitask. Another thing I realized, which this was good, I was able to focus on like thoughts that I wanted to have. So for instance, like my childhood, there were certain things that I couldn't remember for years that started to come back to me. So that was pretty dope. Like, I started remembering all type of just stuff that I'm like, dang, like, how the hell did I remember that? There was even people that was like, dang, you have very bad, I don't even know if I just said that right. You have very bad short-term memory, but you have very good long-term. I was like, yeah, I think it's just medicine I'm on. So that was another thing. So I told myself, I was like, all right, I want to start kind of slowing down taking this or whatever. So I told my doctor or whatever, let's backtrack a little bit. So I had a meeting with my psychiatrist. I kind of told him, like, yeah, you know, it ain't been bad. I told him the good and the bad, like. And he was like, okay, well, it seems like it's working and it's just settling in. It's settling in for you. It's gonna start working. Just, you know, like all of those symptoms will go away. So I'm like, all right, cool. I also gained like 20 damn pounds. I was like, out of nowhere, which that was dope, because I was trying to gain weight. But for somebody that's not trying to gain weight, you may be like, what the hell? So anyways, so I told him about that, whatever. But I was like, yeah, I still somewhat get a little bit of like a anxious feeling sometime that I feel in my body. And when I told him that, he was like, you need something called propranolol. This video is about Zoloft, so I'm not gonna talk too much about propranolol. All I'm gonna say is it's basically a beta blocker. A beta blocker is something that people take before they do like big performances and they nervous, before, like, you know, they have to do something and they feel like they may experience some type of nervous feeling in their body. It stops the anxiety physical feeling. So it kind of stops you from feeling anxiety physically. It won't stop you from having anxiety, because anxiety is a thought. That was what Zoloft was for. But the propranolol will stop you from feeling the anxiety. So, okay. So I started taking propranolol. I actually, like, propranolol was actually pretty good for me. I really liked it, to be honest with you. Like, because I couldn't really feel anything. Like, it was just kind of dope. Like, but again, there's moments I needed to feel something, though. Like, you know what I mean? So anyways, back to the story. I'm taking the Zoloft or whatever. I'm taking the propranolol. All right, I'm good. I'm liking the propranolol way more than the Zoloft. So I'm like, all right, let me stop taking Zoloft so much. Let me take more propranolol. Well, let me just take propranolol. So I'll take Zoloft here like Monday and maybe take it on Friday. You know, it was time for Thanksgiving. and I had to go to New York, and I left my Zoloft at home, and I was going to New York for 10 days. So the whole time in New York, I'm realizing I'm having these very bad headaches. Like, these headaches are like, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. It felt like I literally thought I was gonna die. Like, it was a night that I remember I couldn't sleep, and I had my girl and my daughter in the bed with me, and I remember thinking, like, who's my will signed to? Like, I was thinking, like, how are they gonna feel? Because I really thought, like, if I go to sleep, I'm not gonna wake up. Like, the headache was so bad. And then when I went to New York, like, and I didn't sleep that whole night. When I went to New York or whatever, like, I kept experiencing it. Now, I mean, it was just bad. Now, I mean, it was just really bad. So I told my stepdad about it. He was like, yeah, you know, they kind of like named it different things. Like, yeah, it might be your heart rate, because the propranolol, it slows your blood pressure. It lowers your blood pressure. So I know this story all over the place. My bad, y'all. Like, I'm just thinking about it a lot. But anyways, yeah, it lowers your blood pressure. So I'm like, all right, maybe my blood pressure's low. So I'm like, all right, I know I ain't taking my Zoloft or whatever. So when I got home, I took my Zoloft, and I haven't had that headache. I haven't had the headache ever since. So I was good, but I was like, no, that's not good, because that means that I can't stop taking this now. So now I got a little scared. I was like, all right, I got to do something, like, because I don't want to be hooked on something that's not natural. So I found this thing called ashwagandha. Ashwagandha, I looked it up, and it basically has the same effects, except it's not as hard on you, and it has more benefits and less side effects, especially if you stop taking it. So started taking ashwagandha. Ashwagandha, y'all, it makes me feel good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel dry mouth. I sleep very good. I actually take this, it's like a mixture. It's ashwagandha and black seed oil. If you're looking for what I take, go to my TikTok, and where it's like a little shopping cart on there. Click the shopping cart. You'll see the actual product that I take, because I linked it on my TikTok. My TikTok is _Ty Boogie or Ty Boogie _ It's one or the other. But anyways, I started taking that, y'all, and I feel so much better. I sleep so good. Like, I'm ready when it's time to get spicy now. Like, I do feel somewhat of a like you know, a rock hard on, you know, like, I hate to, you know, put all that out there, but I do get those now. Like, my libido's good. My performance in the gym, like, I have energy. I wake up feeling energized. I don't feel just dry to the world. I do feel a little sense of, like, it's optional for me to, like, react in situations, which I like. I like having that control over my emotions. Now, I mean, in a natural way, like, knowing that I'm taking something natural, it also lessens my anxiety. But yeah, man, I've been taking ashwagandha, and it makes me feel a lot better. I still have my Zoloft, and like, if I do get those headaches again, I may take it, because I hate the way that shit feels. Like, that shit feels horrible. But yeah, man, that's really my story on Zoloft, man. I would say this. I can't give medical advice, because this is not medical advice. If I could go back in time, before I took my Zoloft, I wish I would have took the ashwagandha, because I feel like the ashwagandha is easier to come off of. It's a natural herb, or it's just natural. I don't know if it's a herb or not, but I know it's natural. It has more benefits, so I wish I would have took that first, because to stop taking Zoloft is hard. Now, I mean, and I kind of feel like the reason why it's so hard to get off of it is because the pharmaceutical companies, they want you to make money off of it. Now, I mean, they want you to feel like, oh, you want to stop using this? Okay, well, here's some side effects that's going to make you need some more. And I don't want to feel addicted to nothing, because that's the same thing as being addicted to a drug. It's just that you got it from over the counter. There's no difference between that drug and getting it from the street. Now, I mean, you still getting addicted, and I don't like being addicted to anything. I'm not a alcoholic. I've never been somebody to smoke weed, like, or be into that. Like, I don't get addicted to stuff, you know. So feeling like I was addicted to that, I just really didn't like. Now, I mean, or I didn't have control over whether or not I could take this, because one of the biggest things I was thinking of was, what if I don't have it around me? What if I forget it at home? Now, I mean, like I did in New York. and let's just say I'm going somewhere else, and I need to be here, something important, but I just leave that home. I'm gonna be experiencing all type of side effects because I don't have this substance with me. No, I didn't like that. So, like I said, with the ashwagandha, it makes you feel a lot better. And with ashwagandha, I also noticed the day I didn't take it, I didn't experience side effects and I didn't experience anxiety. I feel like it's kind of like putting my levels to where it needs to be, like mentally. But I think all in all, it just feels good to live again. And I mean, if I could tell y'all anything in this video, it feels good to live, feels good to know that I could laugh, because for a long time, I thought maybe something happened to me that like, I'll never go back to enjoying life again. I didn't know whether or not that's true, but I felt like, what if this is the new norm? And I started to convince myself like, nah, that's the old you, this is the new you. Now, I mean, serious and can't really, you're an introvert now, you're not an extrovert anymore. I started telling myself all of these things to make myself feel better, but I knew at the core, I'm not an introvert. Like, I like talking to who I want to talk to, but I'm not an introvert to where I have problems talking to strangers. Like, I've always been an extrovert. Now, I mean, I've always been somebody to make people laugh. Like, so I hated that I started to justify how I was feeling and made it as my new norm. Because if that was my new norm, I wasn't going to enjoy life no more. I started getting nervous about just thinking about things. So, y'all, that was the Zoloft piece or whatever. I just want to give y'all a little bit more. I'm about to tell y'all a little bit more about my experience. Now, you can click off the video if you don't want to hear it, but I just want to tell you about my anxiety. So I started getting nervous about just, for instance, I know eventually I have to get married. I would get anxious as hell at the simple fact that I have to stand up in front of people. I wouldn't question whether or not I want to marry my girl. It's just, what will my anxiety do to me in that moment is what I was so scared of. Now, I mean, like, will I expose myself in the troubles that I've been having in secret? Will everybody now see it? Which in return will make my anxiety worse than what it is, which is something I was hating. Now, I mean, even like having a baby, I would automatically think about, oh my God, the baby shower. Like, I don't know if I could talk in front of all of those people, or I don't know if I could sit in front. I've had a baby shower before, and I had no damn problem sitting in front of people, making them laugh and everything. Like, I done did presentations making people crack up, and I loved it. Like, it was just a great feeling. Like, I felt like that's where I belonged. But now I'm fearing this stuff. Like, I'm fearing having a spotlight. I'm the friend out of all my friends that, like, when it came time to like have like an event at the house or something like that, I'm the one that's facilitating, like, all right, y'all, now we're gonna do this. And then, I'm making people laugh, and like, I'm the entertainment. So for me to like not be that anymore and then try to justify like, nah, this is the new you, I was scared. I was like, because if I have to keep going like this, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this life anymore. And that is the hard truth. Like, and I was trying to tell people around me, like, y'all, something's not right. My hand's shaking as I'm saying this. Something's not right about me. I don't know what it is. And I'm telling people, and they're not really like grasping what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to tell them without scaring them. Like, y'all, I don't like the way I feel. Like, I'm not liking this body anymore. Like, if you get what I'm saying without saying it. And I started having those thoughts, and it was getting a little scary. And I live by myself, so like the thoughts kind of pile on while I'm at home by myself. So it just got real scary, y'all. I don't want to scare y'all nothing crazy, but it wasn't until I got the Zoloft and I got the Propalanol, whatever, and I started telling people, like, yeah, I'm taking this medication for anxiety and depression, and everybody was so shocked, like, you're taking what? Why are you taking that? And I was like, yeah, you don't remember like when I had that conversation with you that one time, and I was kind of telling you what I was going through, but I don't really think you understood like the severity of it. So at that point, that's when like people kind of took it a little more serious. But even then, people took it serious as far as knowing about it. And like, but nobody still, like, besides my girlfriend, like, nobody really like checks on me like, hey, how's it going? Like, knowing that like I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, still nobody really like texts on, hey, how's your depression? How's your anxiety doing? So I just say that not to shit on the people I know, but sometimes you have to take care of you. Everybody around you may not tell you how serious you need to take your situation because they don't feel it, or let alone do they have time to think about it or know whether or not it's even that serious. You know what I mean? So only you know. And that was my whole reason on taking Zoloft in the first place, because I kind of felt like I need something, because what I don't want to happen is for me not to be here one day and this all could have been fixed. You know, this all could have gotten fixed if I would have just got seen by a doctor, or I would have just found out that there's another way. There's a reason why I was going through what I was going through, you know. Because honestly, like, with people around me not recognizing it, I started thinking maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm not really experiencing nothing. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. But it wasn't until my sister said that one day that I was like, okay, that's what I needed. That's what I need. I need to go get checked. And I found out I have depression, anxiety, or whatever that I was dealing with, or whatever. I don't claim that stuff now because I feel a lot better. And, you know, I'm learning a lot more, whatever, you know, just what's going on with me mentally, but not being able to feel those physical symptoms. Because what I definitely noticed was feeling that fight or flight feeling in those moments was giving me anxiety, because I would get scared to feel that. And then in return, the person I'm talking to, they feel it too. Because I'm very much an empath. So I never wanted to make somebody else feel anxious talking to me. So it makes me feel anxious to think that I might make them feel anxious. So in return, it's just a bad situation. I mean, I know I'm talking around, but you might relate. But yeah, man, if you're somebody that, you know, you're going through it, you know, and you feel alone, trust me, you're not alone. You know, anxiety and depression is real. It's just as real as breaking my ankle. It's just as real as breaking a finger. It's just as real as anything else. You know what I mean? It's just you can't see it. But if you can feel it, it's real. Don't think that, yeah, maybe I could just shake it off. No, that shit is real, and I can tell you that firsthand, because I know the difference between how I'm feeling now and how I was feeling before. And how I was feeling before was not good. And if anybody's feeling like that, I would say go get checked. I mean, go get checked. Do your research on natural remedies, and watch more videos like this on other people's experience. But it's real. All right, you're not alone. And more than anything, seek God, man. Seek God. God is where my peace is at. Like, God, when I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off. The days where I tell myself, go into a public room, and as soon as you have a thought of how are people perceiving you, I want you to think this thought: their opinion does not matter. God loves me. Don't think about their opinion. So at that moment of me thinking about somebody else's opinion on me, and this is people that have social anxiety, at that moment, that I feel like somebody may have judgment on me, I could just Control Alt delete that thought. God loves me. Now, I mean, and I'm good. Like, that doesn't matter. I would almost go out into public and practice these things. Like, okay, let me wait for the moment. Okay, boom, there it goes. I just thought about how somebody perceives me. Okay, now let's pay attention to this thought. Or not so much let's pay attention to this thought, but let's perceive this thought. Let's control this thought. Okay, now that we have the thought, we have the moment, I'm here. That thought doesn't matter. That's not real. What if they actually thinking good of me, or they're thinking bad of me? It doesn't affect how I leave this place. Therefore, it doesn't matter. How I come off in conversations, I'd rather myself feel comfortable than make you feel comfortable, because then I feel anxious. So that selfish mindset made me feel a lot better. Selfless mindset made me feel a lot better. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say that to y'all, whatever. And yeah, man, if you feel like you need to get checked, by all means, go get checked, all right? Peace, love, and happiness. It's me, your boy, Top Boogie. I'm out of here.